right, welcome to the inaugural edition of the Renegade Pop Culture podcast. This is your host, Kiona, and with me are Mike and Josh,
What's up?
the right hand and left hand of the website,
How's it going,
as they say.
guys?
Okay, so what are we here to talk about, guys? Are we here to just kind of introduce ourselves to the audience?
Yeah, I think this should be our opportunity to introduce ourselves.
That's just fire from the cuff.
Sounds good to me. All right, so here at Renegade Pop Culture, we cover movies, we cover games, we cover TV shows, and we cover comic books and music. Do we have any favorite genres, guys?
Honestly, I kind of like a little bit of everything.
That's a cop-out. That is a cop-out answer.
Well, okay, well, I'll get a little bit more specific. My two favorite genres in terms of movies and television and comics and stuff, I lean more towards like the sci-fi fantasy. My second favorite genre though is crime dramas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I knew that. Oh, all right.
And
Well, Josh?
for me, I would say my favorite genres. I would definitely say more of the film noir detective kind of stuff. In particular, the works of Shane Black or Ryan Johnson come to mind. Cue the angry Star Wars fans. I am so sorry we've already lost part of our demographic there. I'm sorry, guys. And I would also say...
Go see Knives Out, everybody!
Yeah, please do. It needs it.
I mean, seriously, like, check it out on digital or on physical media if you're still into physical media.
We're not sponsored by Ryan Johnson, but...
No,
we
we are not.
Appreciate it. But
He did like one of my tweets once. So I was like, hey, there you go.
You lucky bastard.
You got witnessed.
But
I did. Senpai noticed me.
I'd say another favorite genre of mine is probably the action adventure, which is pretty funny because if you know me personally, I write a lot of intimate dramas and character building stuff. So
Yes. Yeah.
at the end of the day, you just want to see a good action movie.
Yeah.
That's my
definitely.
thought on it.
Oh, something else I probably should have mentioned up front, that I am a pretty big fan of animation. Everything from
Same.
everything from like obviously the Disney Renaissance films are the stuff I grew up on. But I also love a lot of like new current series. Like my favorite thing right now is the new DuckTales reboot and DC's Harley Quinn.
I've seen clips of that and I've loved what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think I saw maybe the first couple episodes, but then I didn't have time to catch up on the rest. But yeah, it's good from what I've seen.
Yeah, if you were one of those people who loved the Birds of Prey movie and haven't seen Harley Quinn, now is a good time to check out the first season.
Yeah, because the first season just ended, I believe, fairly recently, right? Like maybe last week even?
Yeah, either last week or 2 weeks
Or the
ago.
week before. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then as for me, I'm a big sci-fi fantasy guy. Specifically, I like cyberpunk, which kind of ties into the whole film noir thing in a way. And I like superheroes, love superheroes ever since I was a kid. And a lot of animation. Some anime, but I'm not like a huge anime fan for some reason. I don't know why. I just haven't really found the right one since like Cowboy Bebop. That was like the be all end all for me. But that and Akira.
I still need to see
And
that.
what else? You haven't seen Akira?
No, I have a friend
wow.
that has been kicking my ass. Like, why haven't you watched that?
I've been
dude,
meaning
you
to
have
see
to,
it
yeah.
For the longest time. Just haven't
Yeah.
really got around to
definitely. Check it out. It's like life changing. I don't even know. It's amazing. Okay, and and I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, and I've gotten back into that since maybe a couple years back, maybe late 2018, I want to say. Um, because as a kid, my grandfather and I used to watch it a lot, and it was just amazing. So good times, just fun. Um,
Mm.
what else do we like?
Um, as
What about
far
comic books, guys? What about comics?
um
Are you guys
com-
into that?
comics, um I haven't been an active reader in a while, but
Mm,
lean mostly towards DC Comics. I love my Batman. I
same.
love my Superman. Um, Dick Grayson, who is the former Robin and now Nightwing, is my favorite comic book character of all time. Second to Green
Oh, that's
Arrow.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Nice. These are some good picks.
Yeah.
What's like your favorite comic story?
Ooh, good question.
Mm, that's a tough one.
I don't know about story, but as far as like a complete run, I would say Judd Winnick's run of Green Arrow is really good.
I gotta read that. I still haven't gotten into Green Arrow in the comics. I've only got a passing familiarity of it through the CW shows, and from what I understand, that is not so much what Green Arrow's like in the comics typically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious how that's gonna go, like how that reads.
Yeah, Green Arrow is more of a in the comics. He's more of a like politically kind of like a liberal in comics.
Um,
Supposedly, is how they tried to package him in the 70s.
yeah,
And then I don't
that's
know if it's still that way now, but
um, it. He's probably not as explicit
mm-hmm.
in the more modern comics, but this like the 70s is when his that's when his classic personality was developed.
Yeah, and he and Green Lantern always used to go at it and have political discussions in their comics, from what I understand. I wasn't around in the 70s, so I didn't read those issues, but I did. It's Denny O'Neil, I believe, was the writer, and Neil Adams was the artist, or something, or at
Yep.
least in Green Lantern. So, but know about Green Arrow though. Watch all the comments. People are gonna be like, "Ah, you're wrong." That's okay.
Kevin Smith was the best Green Arrow writer. Uh, on that, like,
Hey, he used spoiler in his run, so I'll give him props for that.
I've been really getting into comics a lot lately. Like it's been
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. With a lot of the stuff that's happened with me lately, I've had a lot more time to read rather than watch movies, and
Sure.
I've been just so enthralled with what Nick Spencer is doing with Spider-Man lately. Like he has been, I believe, the writer for Spider-Man for ever since a couple years ago,
Yeah, I
Huh.
think so. Yeah.
and he's basically been doing, I like to think, damage control for Dan Slott's entire run for the character for years.
I've heard very polarizing things about what Slot's done.
He's either a you
Yeah.
love him or
Same.
you hate him writer for Spider-Man, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm, of course, when people say that, they say I'm in the middle, but I say yeah, I'm in the middle. I like some things, I hate some things, but almost everything I've seen of Nick Spencer has been really good. Like he brings back the fun in Spider-Man and actually moves the
Mm-hmm.
characters forward in a really, I think, in a really good way. And I still haven't gotten my fair share of Spidey continuity. I bought
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend Maximum Carnage, and I felt really bad because when we both started reading it, we were like, "Oh my god, we are totally lost right now." But
That was because back in those days they didn't really have like 6 issues as a complete story kind of a thing. They had a bunch of plot threads and just ran with it and saw where it took them.
yeah, and like for example, one issue in Spencer's run is literally about Spider-Man's roommate, who I believe is Boomerang. or something. One of the lower tier characters that was in like a little villains group with Shocker and the female Electro, I think, somebody, and he owes money to the Kingpin, and the only way he can do that, he can get it, is by going to the bar with no name and taking Peter with him, and they end up having Peter
sex.
No, not sex, but they end up competing in a
raunchy fuck
God damn it, Crystal. Well, there goes our PG rating.
Yeah, there it goes.
But
hey, that's okay.
But they ended up playing Spider-Man trivia at the bar with no name, and of course Peter is slaying everybody because of course he knows everything.
Of course.
And it's just such an oddball fun story, and it feels like something that could only happen with modern Spider-Man. Now they have J. Jonah Jameson running a podcast.
Hey, a fellow podcaster. There you go.
The true facts here.
Yes.
It's in my backpack.
Yep.
In the trunk. Where's it?
Well, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, Maximum Carnage, that was a storyline when I was sort of out of reading Spider-Man, so maybe I should go back and revisit that too. Because I don't know that I've ever read that.
I think you're gonna love what Nick Spencer's doing. He's been doing really good, and when he's not given
Nick Spencer,
when he's not given the short end of the stick with crossovers, he's made some really good stuff. But aside from Nick Spencer, I feel like I've just been a Spider-Man factory right now. But my favorite comic book character in general is Blue Beetle.
Yes.
The
You're talking
Reyes
about
one?
the Jaime Reyes.
Jaime Reyes, yes. I bought all of the stories that I could of him as soon as I found out who his character was, and he's just so inspiring to me, and I connected with him so much. He's basically my Spider-Man, just in that sense of how much I related to him, how much I understood him. High recommends are his entire 2006 run with Keith Geffen and
Yep.
John Davis. No, not John Davis. Somebody else. And the Rebirth arc that recently wrapped up. It got canceled, unfortunately, but they brought back one of the past Blue Beetles, which is Ted Kord, as kind of a mentor figure.
Oh, that's awesome. See, that's what they should have done the first time around, but Ted was dead.
In fairness, what they did with Ted as a legacy character in the original one, it kind of creates a sense of like that added danger of being a superhero, where it's like, man, you could do this, true. But what happened to the last Blue Beetle? I think Paco literally says at one point, Blue Beetle's dead.
Yeah, that's true. It did kind of add a whole element of like, well, are you sure you want to go down this road? Because, you might end up like Ted. And
that seems like a pretty dark approach to legacy characters.
It was.
It's a dark approach, but it's handled really respectfully. Although there is one funny panel where there's a funny thing in, like, I believe the third issue, where Jaime's doing research on the Blue Beetle because the Scarab's telling him, like, hey, you're the Blue Beetle now. And he's like, all right, let me see what happened with the other ones. All right, Dan Garrett, he had powers. He's dead. Okay, Ted Kord didn't get powers. Let's see what happened to him.
Yeah,
and then
Ted Kord didn't use the Scarab, I believe.
Either he didn't, or it was because he didn't want the power,
or he didn't want it. Yeah, something like that.
He's like, hey, maybe Ted Kord has something, and the next panel's him just pulling a scared face, like, oh, okay, never mind, not so lucky.
All right, so Mike, you got any particular ones other than the ones that you've already stated?
For
any particular stories, I should say.
The one I usually recommend to people is this weekly series called 52. For those who don't know, it fills in the gap between the end of Infinite Crisis and all the 1 year later stuff they did. This is what I love about this. It's kind of like that Simpsons episode like 22 Stories About Springfield, where it's like
Yes.
where it focuses on all like the lesser known characters in the DC universe, like so Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are off doing whatever they're doing, and so this was like really a really good introduction to characters like Adam Strange, like Black Adam,
Question.
the Question, Batwoman.
Yeah, Batwoman. That's right. I think even like Detective Chimp was in there. Because Grant Morrison loves that.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing I love about it. Like it was written by like all like the best writers at that time. Like you had Jeff Johns, Greg Rucka,
Grant Morrison, Judd Winnick.
I think even Keith Giffen was involved.
Giffen. That's right. Yeah, I think so. Man, it's been a while since I read that.
I really need to catch up on my Grant Morrison.
Well, he brings in Detective Chimp and a few other crazy characters, so
See,
that's Grant.
My Grant Morrison knowledge is only of All-Star Superman, which I read once, and I haven't read in a long time. And the fact that he created, or not created, but at least was a writer on Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And Flex Mentallo, which me and my girlfriend have had arguments about how it's pronounced. And
excuse me, you talking shit?
Yes, I am talking shit.
What?
I'm saying that Flex Mentallo is how you pronounce it. That's what they said in the show. Anyway.
Oh my god.
And
oh my god, you're wrong.
And Arkham Asylum, a hidden house on Hidden Hell or something.
I feel like we need to get Crystal in on this podcast. Like,
yeah, that's what needs to happen. Our third co-panelist.
Yes, here you go. Yeah.
At some point, Crystal, you're going to be on this podcast.
Yeah, you have to be on this podcast.
Aren't I already on it?
No.
Well, technically, yes.
We're gonna have you technically on here, like in a physical capacity where your voice is actually heard, and you're gonna be able to. Okay, I'm making this sound way worse.
You could have just said it actually on the mic.
Yes. Okay, you get it.
See, this is who Josh is. He's the type of guy to overanalyze literally everything. Everything. I tell him, "Oh, I'm having a good day," and he's thinking, "Oh no, she's depressed. Oh no, she got bullied in school, and oh no, I need to find every single detail to every single thing."
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, this is great radio.
This is great radio. Yes, this is what we need.
You're
this is great podcasting here. Okay, so let's talk about let's see here. What about my stories? Okay, so I'm gonna say probably the greatest comic book story I've ever read in my life is probably the Dark Phoenix Saga by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Just because it's classic X-Men. It's what kind of got me into X-Men. They had that awesome like animated adaptation in the 90s with the 90s X-Men cartoon, which frankly really did a good job with it, considering, the constraints of being a Saturday morning cartoon show. And I think that, like, just in terms of the artwork, just in terms of the story and the tragedy of it, it's Shakespearean tragedy, but for comics. And that was Chris Claremont for you. I mean, the guy was a genius, and the artwork was spectacular. And for me, that's like probably the top of the heap. I would say also. Okay, I'm a sucker for this, even though I'm sure that some people might not consider it like the top of the thing here. But I would say for me, it was like in the 90s, Batman Nightfall. Just because
I love Nightfall. That was when I started collecting trades back in like 2012, 2013. Nightfall was one of the first ones that I bought. I got volume 1 for Christmas, and I picked up like the next two like shortly after. And man, was that that No Man's Land and the Bruce Wayne murder Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
Fugitive.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
are like those are probably like the most satisfying
Those
Batman
are
stories
some.
to read in like one sitting.
Yeah. Those are quintessential Batman stories, I think. I mean, there are others, obviously, but like Dark Knight Returns is another one. Year One is another one. Um, I mean, but just in terms of the impact of the books and just in terms of like the era that it came out in, I would say that those are some of the best. I love No Man's Land, by the way. I freaking love it. I bought the novelization by Greg Rucka and I read that also, and I love
Ooh.
that as well. um let's see. Oh yeah, so Dark Knight Returns, that's another one. That's one that I would consider like top top 5 of all time.
I would put Year One like above that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, one is because I think I like the art a little bit better, and
Mm-hmm.
two, I I think it's just a better story. You get to see um like a really tight origin of how Batman came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the art sense, David Mazzucchelli is just. I love Frank Miller, honest to God, I really do. But David Mazzucchelli's art is on a whole nother level than
True.
him. Like,
Yeah.
Mike, have you ever read Daredevil Born Again?
I haven't, but it's is the same artist on that one too?
Oh yeah, yeah. David Mazzucchelli that's his best art that I've seen from
Mm-hmm.
him. But I agree. Year One, it's taken me a long time to come around on this, but Year One, so much better, so much more concise than Dark Knight Returns, and I love Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
It's just
I would
classic
agree.
noir.
I would agree. I would agree. Um, I think for me, Dark Knight Returns kind of has the edge on it, just because for me it's kind of nostalgic because I got that. I got that book when I was like maybe 7, which is not a good time to be reading Dark Knight Returns. Maybe it's arguable, but that sort of became my Batman because that was like the really like super intense kind of brooding dickish Batman, and I think that I don't know. To me, that's who Batman sort of is. So.
There's just like something about that kind of long time legacy Batman just learning
Mm-hmm.
to like come to terms with the world around him in Dark Knight
Yeah.
Returns, and in Year
Yeah.
One, you just kind of get the feeling that he's just brooding, just he's got all this aggression, and he just kind of is left alone in his thoughts more than anybody else.
Yeah. True.
Say what you want about Frank Miller's later stuff, but for like in those two stories, like he really gets like sort of the essence of what makes Batman Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that like pretty much every writer since has been taking cues from those two books.
Yeah.
There is one thing of recent Frank Miller that I don't know if you guys have read, but it's genuinely just amazing. It was one of the ending tie-in issues to Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. Which, why are there 5 books in this series? But that's beside the point.
Are you talking about the Golden Child?
No, although that one's. Oh no, is that one about Dick Grayson? Or
No.
Jason? Okay, it
No.
was in Dark Knight 3 Master Race. At the end, at the end of each issue, there was always a little sub story written
Oh.
and for the most part drawn by Frank Miller about what's going
Oh,
on
gotcha.
in the story. And at the very end of the very last issue, it was called World's Finest #1, and it was Superman talking with his daughter. And she's saying, why do you choose to help the humans? Why do you choose to, be among them when you're so above them?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole issue is Superman celebrating just the beauty of human life and how much of a pleasure, how much of of a privilege it is to be amongst them, to protect them. And
Mm.
it is, without a doubt, probably the most inspirational that Frank Miller has ever been, and it's not cynical at all.
Wow.
It was the thing that made me excited for Superman Year One, and then I read it and I liked half of it.
The Superman Year One,
with him writing and John Romita Jr. doing the art.
Yeah. I got the first issue signed by John Romita because I met him at one of the conventions in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Before I left. Yeah. So I got to meet him. He was super, super cool. And I asked him, what's it like working with Frank Miller? And he laughed. He laughed at first, and then he was like, oh man, it's great. I just thought that was funny. But it was just a moment. But yeah, John Romita is super cool. I even got to meet Chris Claremont one time, so that was super cool. Yeah, these guys they are the legends of the field, man, and they're just like, I don't know. It's being in the presence of these like titans of the industry. So for me, that was pretty cool.
At the last New York Comic Con that I went to back in 2017, I think, I met Neil Adams, and and I got him to sign these limited edition collections of his run from the 70s of Batman.
Oh, dude.
So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Though I'd admit I'd probably be really, I don't know if I'd be in like a jerk or anything. I would totally have him sign a copy of Batman Odyssey.
Ooh.
And ask him to break down what happens.
Oh my god, Josh.
There goes my goodwill with the comic writing, the artist.
He would probably he would probably at first just be like, wow, somebody's actually asking me to sign Batman Odyssey, and then you'd be like,
so what was going on?
It's like, well, see, what happened was
there was a whole bunch of cocaine.
Yes.
And that just kind of steered the train.
Are we rhyming? Is that what we're doing? Okay. So we've been talking comics a lot. So let's talk about movies right now. So if I had to ask you off the top of your head, favorite movie, what would you say right now?
The Prince of Egypt.
Interesting. Okay.
Over the years, I've kind of gone back and forth between The Prince of Egypt or Back to the Future as like my definitive favorite movie of all time. And the more it kind of sat with me, the more that The Prince of Egypt kind of took that number one spot, because to me it kind of has everything that I love in movies. It has, in my opinion, Hans Zimmer's best score. It's a musical, so it definitely wins me over there. To a lesser degree, it is kind of a superhero movie. I mean, if you really kind of, if you consider the Book of Exodus a superhero story to some extent.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I can see that.
And also, given my love of animation, the animation in this movie is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the animation was amazing in that. Yeah.
I did a whole video about the cinematography of that film, and The Prince of Egypt is just a shiny example of animation. I I still get chills when he puts the staff in the water and then the
Oh yeah.
blood starts to seep, and just the shot of them parting the sea, and you see the whale in the background through the lightning strikes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it just scenes
You
like
can't
that
see it.
and the burning bush are just my two favorite favorite moments of that movie.
Our listeners can't see it, but I just got chills just remembering it.
That's awesome, man. That's a really good choice, actually. Okay, Josh, what about you? Favorite movie of all time? Go.
Django Unchained.
Ooh.
It is it's a very personal one. For a long time, it was Pulp Fiction, but then at the time of Django Unchained's release, I was just like, hey, I discovered this filmmaker, and now he's doing this. This Western thing. Oh, I am following this, and I literally followed every piece of news back in 2011, of conception to casting to shooting to first looks. I remember I replayed that first trailer like ad infinitum, just on loop, and then more and more footage was starting to be leaked, and then I somehow managed to get a hold of the script early, and because and back then Tarantino scripts always leaked, but it was always like well into the production before the Hateful Eight debacle, and I read it and I loved it. I was like, wow, I'm getting to see what it's like making the movie, and I loved the script. And I remember Christmas Day, my parents were going to take me, and I was so excited the night before. I didn't sleep, and I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and I listened to the soundtrack, just ready for it. And then I went to the theater, and I probably had the most unrealistic expectations of it. But I'll be damned if it didn't meet my ridiculously high expectations. Getting to see what made it in the film, what didn't make it in the film, what he replaced, and on top of that, just how well done it was, how great it was, how fast paced it was, and just how I could go on for hours, and I'm not going to, but it is it's one of my favorite movies, and it is my favorite movie because it just felt like the first time I ever really got to follow a movie through its production.
Fun fact, I think around 2013, Vertigo released a graphic novel of Tarantino's original script, and I have a copy of that collection. It's a great comic.
Oh my god, it's so good. And the sections that that aren't in the movie, it's like, huh. With Scotty, the guy that buys Broomhilda, and how Broomhilda ends up in Candyland. That was my favorite part of the script, and I remember being so sad it wasn't in the movie, but getting to see it live on through that. Oh, it was a dream come true.
Very cool. Very cool. All right.
What about you, Kiona?
What about me? Okay, so this is going to be kind of a weird choice, but I would say the film Serenity, and not the one that just came out with Matthew McConaughey, but the one that Joss Whedon actually directed. Back in, I want to say 2000. Was it 2005 already?
Yep, 2005.
Holy crap!
Oh my god.
Geez, I'm getting old. Okay, so, but yeah, so the reason for that is because I came around to, and I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. First off, I should say that up front, but I came around to his stuff through like early morning reruns of Buffy the Vampire Slayer on FX in like the early 2000s, at like 7 a.m. in the morning, just watching like random episodes, and then just kind of falling in love with that whole that show just right there. And also through his work in Astonishing X-Men, which was the comic book series that he did in about 2004 for Marvel, um, where he wrote Kitty Pryde like she was a freaking boss. And I gotta say, like that comic was amazing. Um, anyway, so I loved his dialogue and I loved the banter between the characters. So I just kind of, at the time they were doing the run up to Serenity releasing in theaters and stuff, and I hadn't known about Firefly or the fact that it had, just like a terrible run on Fox, that they buried it ratings wise, and that basically, this was like the last thing that they were going to do with the characters and everything. So they were rerunning the entire series on Sci-Fi Channel. And I remember just watching the episodes and just immediately connecting with everybody on the cast in at least some way. And that's so rare that like you have a TV show with like an ensemble cast and you like every single character in the cast and every single actor. And I watched all the episodes when they aired them, and I fell in love with that show, and I fell in love with everybody on the show, and I just ended up going to the theater and seeing the movie, and it was, crazy and bold and colorful and witty and damn it, it was heartbreaking. It was like that final act of the movie was just heart-wrenching. And I don't know, for me it worked. I know a lot of people were like just devastated by that, and it just like, it kind of it marred the movie for them. Like they I don't know that they'll like it as much as I did, and that's fair. But for me it was a great continuation of the story, and it was a great like set of characters, and it's just something that I don't think I'll ever see again in my lifetime, where just the dialogue was perfect, the score was amazing, the acting was great, and I don't know, I loved it. So that, to me, it had been Empire Strikes Back for a long time in my life. That was my most favorite movie, but I think that movie actually dethroned it for me. Just because, they had changed Star Wars by that time. George Lucas had done the whole like Han actually, or like Greedo shot first, and then Han killed him for shooting at him, and then you had Mal sitting there, and he just straight up shot guys, and I was like, you know what, that's my Han Solo right there. I don't know. I don't know. That was just how I took it. But anyway, so yeah, for me it's Serenity, and not the recent one, because I understand that one was not very good.
If anything were to beat out space fantasy, it would have to be a space western, so that's very fitting.
That's true. All right. Okay, so the last thing in the trifecta would be video games.
Before we get into that,
Sure.
does anyone have any like specific favorite music genres?
Ooh.
Crap. Oh.
Well, for me, I like rock, basically any kind of rock. So yeah, I'm pretty open to that.
There's new metal, baby metal.
Yeah, not baby metal.
Well, there goes the every type of rock.
Okay. Yeah, you got me there. You got me there. I will not do the baby metal thing. I'm sorry. I just won't do it. Sorry, Jim Bacon. I know if you're listening to this, you're going to be mad at me. But, yeah, okay. So.
For you, it's pretty much most rock. I'd say classic rock, but I'm really starting to come around more to like R&B and even rap. I say in the most bland way possible, but no, like I really love things like just off the cuff, stuff like Aerosmith, Van Halen, Elton John, and Marvin Gaye, and even Usher and Wu-Tang Clan. Public Enemy. Just yeah. What about you, Mike? What are your favorite music genres?
It's gonna be metal.
Well, yeah. Generally speaking, I lean more towards the the heavier stuff. My favorite band is Trivium. They're like a thrash metalcore band from Orlando, and they're awesome. They're going on tour with Lamb of God and Megadeth this year, and I'm hoping I can go to at least one of those shows. So yeah, that's kind of like my favorite genre. I like the more heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the flip
Same.
side, I'm also a big fan of the Beatles, of Simon and Garfunkel, Beach Boys. So
That's the classics, man.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth between the various genres. I had at one point like a hip hop phase. You know, Wu-Tang Clan, a lot of the Chicago hip hop artists. I do like early Kanye West. Late Registration, I think, is his best work. That was the album I listened to probably the most. And a really interesting new band that kind of combines like pretty much all the genres we've talked about is a band called Issues. They're like a progressive metal band, but they're, you know, heavily influenced by R&B and modern pop. So I would advise everyone to check out their album Beautiful Oblivion.
Sounds good. And then we can all say we've got issues.
Yes.
That's your dad joke of the podcast right there.
Be warned. There will be plenty of those.
There will be a lot of those, yes.
We're gonna lose so many listeners to them.
We'll get like negative listeners.
We'll get negative listeners, yeah. We'll be the only ones listening. But no, it's okay. It's okay. Our audience will find us. Those who appreciate dad jokes and comic books will enjoy us very much. And metal.
The metal heads will come flocking.
Then they'll hear my joke and they'll be like, screw this guy.
What do you guys think of Tool?
I like them.
I don't think they've ever released a bad album. Ever.
Yep.
It took my girlfriend a while because she really loves Tool and she got me into it a little. I'm still warming up to them. I really like what I've heard so far.
Schism and Lateralis.
Lateralis is probably one of the most intelligent metal songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You could even call it metal. I've heard people call them alternative.
I honestly just call them Tool because because they're like you can't put that band in a box. They're kind of like Deftones in that regard.
Yeah. They're a genre unto themselves.
I have a really really funny story about Tool. So early in my relationship with my girlfriend, I was in an audio video class in high school, and I would sneak in every now and again, ditching class, admittingly, to edit some stuff. And at the time, my audio video teacher was showing the students music videos.
Oh no.
To
Josh, are you kidding me?
showing music videos to like give the students an idea of telling a story visually.
No, this isn't your
And
story.
Crystal,
Oh my
her name's
God.
Crystal. She said,
Oh my God,
I have an
fuck you,
idea.
fuck you.
She's
I could've
she's
gotten this
recoiling
right
and
now,
cringe
so
right now because she
fuck
knows what
you.
it is.
Fuck you.
And-
I'm actually mad at you.
What was the song
Oh, I was
with
right
the
too. Fuck you.
What was it?
Right into.
She played right
yourself.
into, and just how twisted and weird that music video is.
I forgot.
And halfway through, my teacher was like, "Wait, what?"
I forgot.
And there's like a whole bunch of like weird nudity going
I
on.
forgot.
And he was like, "All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop
I
that."
thought it was just,
And
like,
she ended up
work.
leaving the class, just literally shook to her core, like, "Oh my god, I forgot that stuff happened." And the class was full of like freshmen
You.
and
Fuck
sophomores.
You. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, they get,
Oh my God, I could kill you right now. I can't believe you told us.
well, we won't sanction that on the podcast, although that might make for good audio. That's a joke, everybody.
We're not murderers.
No, we're not.
Yet.
Yeah, yet. Yeah. This is Renegade Pop
You
Culture.
realize you're in my room
.com.
right now.
Yes, I know. The funny thing is, Crystal's going into the medical examiner field, so she'd know how to make it look like an accident too.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that's your setup right there. Crystal, we're gonna get you on this podcast one day, I swear.
You can go fuck yourself.
She was saying that more to me, not you guys.
No, I understand. That could have been misinterpreted. No. All right, so do we want to do more of that? Favorite bands and that sort of thing, or?
I have a few names to toss out. Tool is definitely one of them.
Yep.
I mentioned Trivium.
Yep.
Of course, we can't talk about metal without talking about the big four: Metallica,
Oh, yeah.
Megadeth,
Yep.
Anthrax, Slayer.
Yep.
There's so many that I've listened to throughout like my ever since I kind of fell in love with the genre. It would be impossible to list all of them. Can't forget about Dream Theater. One of the first big progressive metal bands that was my gateway into bands like Periphery, Issues, all those those heavier progressive metal bands.
Yeah, very cool.
On the
Have you heard a band?
On the classic side, there's wait, what band?
No, I was just gonna say, have you heard of a band called Ailstorm?
Oh, yes.
Not Hailstorm.
Although I do love Hailstorm.
But... I love Hailstorm, but Ailstorm, which is probably my favorite band of the last maybe 10 years or so, because they're just amazing. Scottish pirate metal for the win.
Yeah, that's what I love about metal. Like,
yeah,
obviously metal itself is a subgenre of rock, but heavy metal has its own wide array of subgenres that if this was all I ever listened to, I would still never run out of new bands to check out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. I would say for me, it's gotta be Metallica, definitely. Like you said, Tool is another one. Ailstorm for me personally. Radiohead is one of my favorite bands of all time.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Early stuff to later stuff, because I think even their electronic stuff was super cool. And they've gotten me through some tough times, I gotta say. Like listening to Radiohead was always just it helped me in some strange way. I always say Tom York is kind of my life sage. So
just his hypnotic voice.
And of course he made the music video for Lotus Flower where he was just dancing all around and stuff, and that was that was cool, man. I was like, you rock, Tom York, keep going. Huh. You know what is like a really interesting sort of genre is like, have you guys ever seen like on YouTube, like they have those kind of cyberpunk ish sort of like 80s sci-fi inspired, like new age retro wave kind of stuff?
That sort of sounds familiar.
Yeah, like I've seen some of that, and I don't know. Some of it I like. Some of it I like. If it's more like there's an actual band playing it, then I kind of like it a bit more. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff out there and a lot of quality stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty open to it unless it's baby metal, or if it's like, what are the name of those guys? You know those guys,
Those
that boy
guys.
band, those guys. You know those guys that are really famous right now.
Oh, BTS.
Yes. Okay. This is gonna anger so many people, but I hate that.
I have a friend that's never gonna listen to this now.
Well, too. Okay. Nice to know you, friend. No, I'm kidding.
Stephanie, this is an attack. This isn't an attack against you.
No, I'm just really snarky sometimes, so it comes out
It's just
occasionally.
our never-ending war against South Korea. I almost said North Korea again.
Well, there was that ballistic missile alert that I lived through when I was a Starbucks barista,
Oh yeah.
and it came through, and everybody was just kind of sitting there going like, well, it's a good thing we're gonna die doing what we love, which is grinding coffee beans and serving them in plastic cups.
Nothing like, working a 9 to 5 and just thinking, it's funny that a possible nuclear missile isn't going to be the worst thing that happened today, but making that unicorn frap is.
This was actually after the unicorn frap, or was it before? It was one of
those.
those.
It was after.
I think it was after. That was like our punishment for coming up with the unicorn frap. Okay, there go all my Starbucks listeners. All my old Starbucks friends are just like, bye.
No, they're nodding. They're like, he's right.
Nah, they're probably nodding. Yeah, I know most of them are.
I would probably say bands to throw out there. I'm gonna take a hard left with some of these.
Go for it.
I'm gonna throw out the Black Keys.
Yes.
Like I swear I discovered them while writing a script a long time ago, thanks to a friend at the time, and I have loved everything that I've heard from them. Turn Blue is probably one of their most underrated albums, and 10 Lovers is one of their most underrated songs. It is so good. I loved when they got weird for that one album, and they came back with, I believe, a new album not that long ago, like a few months ago.
Yep.
I don't know, but their single
so.
Low High is just a nice return to form, using the weirdness and psychedelic nature of Turn Blue with the with their classic like garage band style.
It's a very solid track.
Yeah. Who else? I'm gonna shout out a guy that I knew in passing, as in I met him once, and then I found out, oh yeah, he's famous now. Khalid.
Ooh.
He actually graduated a year over me at my high school. I remember just being like caught off guard. Like we went to prom, it was just like, oh hey, let's shout out our student who just graduated. Here's his song location, and I'm sorry, Khalid, I don't like Location that much, but I've turned around on it. But he's got some other songs like Young, Dumb, and Broke, which I like to consider that the new teenage anthem. It's just so catchy and so loose and fun. And he had a song that I'm actually surprised didn't get enough airplay, which is Better. It's just one of those perfect, like, you're cruising around at 3 a.m. kind of songs. You know what I mean? Where almost everything's closed and you just want to see the environment around you, and you're just mulling your thoughts, and then you have this slow R&B song playing. It's good for those very quiet, melancholic moods. That's if you're into that sort of thing.
I am all about the quiet, melancholic mood, my friend. All right, so okay, let's see. We're almost at the hour mark here, which is pretty cool. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
So let's do one last thing, which is video games, since we're kind of covering pretty much everything that we cover on the website. So let's do video games last. Any particular games you guys love, or any particular ones that you're kind of hooked on right now?
I'm actually not really that much of a gamer, but there are a few classic games that I played like when I was younger. Games like Crash Team Racing, Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of like the Street Fighter games.
Oh yeah. Yep.
As you know, as someone who loves Dragon Ball Z, one of my favorite games when I had it for the Wii was Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Oh, nice. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that game I used to play for like hours.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a fun one. The last like I guess modern game that I played was the first Injustice for PS3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the Injustice games. They're good. Very good.
I guess that's another comic book recommendation too. Tom Taylor is.
Oh, I haven't read those. I have not read it. Yeah, I kind of want to get into it, but there's so much of it.
I've read like the first year, and it's amazing.
Yeah, this is what I've heard. I've heard nothing but good things about that book. All right, Josh. Any games you're playing right now, or?
I'll admit, right now, not at the moment. A while back, I bought Death Stranding because I really wanted to support Kojima, and it looked really, really interesting. I really wanted to play it, and I bought it back in November, and I haven't even popped it into the PS4 because at the time I was trying to be considerate for my father-in-law, and I saw that he was playing some games, and he was like, you could have just put it in and played it at any point. And now he's playing The Witcher. So
Yep.
As far as like other games I'm really into, I would say I'm really more into more story driven games. Stuff like The Last of Us, which oh my god, one of the few games that's made me cry.
Yeah. Same.
Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, if not my all-time favorite. My girlfriend got me into Undertale, which when you get past the cringy fan base on Tumblr and Twitter, it is probably one of the most intricate games I've ever played, despite how simplistic it looks. There's something really fascinating about how the gameplay and how you play it just changes everything just by the base structure of it. And going off of that, my other favorite game, one of my other favorites is Super Mario Sunshine.
Well, hey, Super Mario Sunshine, man, it's a classic. It's a classic of its genre.
That was
definitely.
That was my very first GameCube game.
Yep.
My folks got me the GameCube, and I remember playing it, and I could never get past the first level. And then when I beat that very first thing at the airport, I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, there's more game!" And finally, The Wolf Among Us is with Max Payne 3 with like some of my favorite stories in general. And Just
That was really, really good.
the cell shade environment of that neo noir fairy tale nightmare, and just
Yeah.
the painkiller, drunk, dreary
Yeah.
style of Max Payne 3. It, they're just unparalleled in my opinion, and I'm
Hmm.
so excited for Wolf Among Us 2.
Me too. I was surprised to even see that trailer come up because it's like, Telltale and all the troubles that they've had recently. And then you just see that kind of at the Game Awards when they played that trailer. And I was like, wow, I can't believe we're actually getting it. And I had just played through the first game because it took me a long time to get to it. I was like late to the party on that one, but it was really, really good. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that it's getting a sequel.
I've heard good things about The Wolf Among Us, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy for fans who are
Yeah.
getting a new installment of that.
Yeah.
I have a friend who just like loved Telltale solely for The Walking Dead, and she was like, "Man, I'm so upset that they canceled the Walking Dead's last season. I've been waiting for this for months." And I looked
Mm-hmm.
at her and said, "Have you tried waiting literal years to hear a shred of news for a sequel?" I didn't think so.
It's one of the joys of being a gamer, man. And yeah, what can I say? That's how it is. For me personally, I would go with I would say that for the next game I'm probably gonna pick up is Doom Eternal. And I still have to play through Doom 2016. Like I never really got through the whole entire game. So I have to do that.
I
Um
am shocked.
I know, right? Yeah, I don't know why. I just like ran out of time or something or just got distracted by like other things. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to finish that game because that game is awesome, and the soundtrack is gold, man. Like that's the thing that I love about those games is that like just Doom Eternal, I can just watch the trailers and just watch like from a couple years back that performance that Mick Gordon did at the Game Awards thing where he just like yeah that was amazing. That was such an amazing performance. Anyway, so Doom Eternal, I would say probably okay. Cyberpunk 2077 is one that I'm looking forward to. Um, the Final Fantasy VII remake is definitely on the radar. I need to play that like ASAP as soon as it comes out. Um, and Last of Us 2. Yeah, Last of Us 2. Because Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece, as you said, Josh. And I would say that I'm also looking forward to Streets of Rage 4. I know that's kind of an indie game and what have you, but I think that Streets of Rage 2 is probably my favorite game of all time and is probably the game that got me hooked into gaming way back when, back in the day on Genesis. Um, yeah, it's that I don't know. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's not rocket science, but at the same time I just love the purity of it and I love the fact that it was like Final Fight, but it was better because it was a little bit deeper. Um, for me anyway, I think that game is awesome. And of course, there's other games and stuff. Like we got to do a gaming podcast because frankly, I just want to go back and look at like lesser known games like Gun Valkyrie and like Panzer Dragon, um, and like Skies of Arcadia.
I gotta track down
Because
like Skies of Arcadia. That's a
yeah,
hard one to find.
yeah. There was a game on GameCube called Beautiful Joe, which was an awesome game.
I remember that game.
Yeah, that game is awesome. I had that game and I had the sequel because that was just incredible. Um, there were a couple of music games called Space Channel 5, which were awesome. And I think that just got like a VR game or something in the series, but I don't know how good it is or what have you. But yeah, that was cool. I mean, it was definitely different and interesting. And, I miss games that weren't afraid to do different things. And I feel like gaming is it's so different now and it's so homogenized and it's so like we got to make sure that this is the thing that's going to sell like a bajillion copies because that's the only way we can stay afloat now. And I just feel like I feel like we're missing like that the quirkiness of the old school kind of gaming market, but maybe that's just me.
Well,
I don't know.
that's where something like
I feel you.
That's where something like Death Stranding feels so unique to me because it's just so out of
Yeah.
left field.
Yeah.
It's, only someone like Hideo Kojima could say, you know what? Let's try walking.
Let's walk for America. Who wants to walk with Elias?
Yes.
Okay. That's a wrestling joke there. For the 10 million people that didn't understand that joke. Anyway. All right, guys. So we're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. So what do you guys think? Is that enough for this inaugural installment?
I feel really bad. Like, just before we kind of come to an impasse with this, I completely forgot about the Arkham games.
Ooh, dude. You're right. Okay, but are you including Arkham Origins in that?
You know what? It's a very flawed game, but it's still got some good elements. Each of them, I think, has something to appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Except for VR. That one is just, why? What was that even?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't even try that. Yeah.
I'm an Arkham shill. I was... Arkham Asylum was basically almost the same thing as Django for me. It was my very first game I ever got for the Xbox 360. I begged my folks to get me something like that. And at the time I had a PlayStation 2, a GameCube, and a Wii. So that was like my first real big boy console, if you will. And that and Arkham City was like that was the one game I stayed up for the midnight release for. And Arkham Knight, I waited for years until I could play it because I was so excited, and I bought that and Origins at the same time. And I was more frustrated with Arkham Knight than I was with Origins.
Okay, the thing with Arkham Origins for me was that it had like a game-breaking bug, I think, and it corrupted my save, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
So I had to go back and replay it. Yeah, I took a break for a while, and then I went back and replayed it, but I remember actually liking it after that. Even like the voice acting was pretty good, even though it wasn't our usual cast. It wasn't Mark Hamill as the Joker. It was like Troy Baker, and it was like Roger Craig Smith as Batman instead of why am I blanking on his name right now? Kevin Conroy, thank you. Why did I blank on that? Jeez. It's been a long day, guys. Anyway. So yeah,
who knew that Sonic would be a good Batman?
Right? Yeah. But I thought that they actually got the dynamic down, and the writing was actually surprisingly solid on that game. So yeah, I mean, I liked Origins for what it was. It wasn't as good as the other three. But, one thing that I thought was really good about Origins was the soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
Christopher Drake, who, I don't know what happened to him, because he was doing, like, a lot of DC animated stuff, and he was doing, like, and he did Arkham Origins and stuff. I don't know what happened to the guy, but I thought his soundtrack on that was, like, amazing. It was a little bit more intense than like, whereas the Arkham trilogy kind of has that more like underlying sort of dread kind of soundtrack that goes through it, and then it gets like really exciting during the action moments. But I mean, I love all the soundtracks for the games, but I just thought Arkham Origins to me kind of stood out a little bit. And one more game that I want to mention before we go off is Halo Reach.
So many good
just
memories.
Because I love that game so much. I love Halo Reach so much, and I'm glad that it got re-released recently because on the Master Chief Collection, because it deserves the remaster, and it's, I think, the best story out of all the Halo games. I love the fact that it's, I love me some tragedy apparently. So that is a tragic freaking like hero story. It was so good. And and graphically, like nowadays, with the remaster, it looks great. So if you guys haven't given that a shot, or if you're not a Halo fan, it's a difficult one to start with, maybe, but I would say it's definitely worth playing.
Pretty,
All right.
pretty fair, pretty nice, and just you also can't compare with that multiplayer experience.
This is true. I'm not really a multiplayer guy, but yeah, Halo Reach was definitely, it was something. All right, Mike, any final thoughts on the video game side, or?
I think I'm pretty much all set. I'm probably the most casual gamer out of the three of us. So my experience is mostly either secondhand or, the occasional multiplayer.
All right, guys. So, what do we want to do here? You want to talk about your social media, in case anybody wants to get in touch with you directly, or?
Well,
you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. I have a new Instagram, same handle, and look for me on Facebook and all the various movie groups, including our own Facebook group, Renegade Pop Culture. Just search for Michael K.
Yep. And Josh?
You can go ahead. If you want to stalk me, please don't. But if you want to talk to me, I've started to be more active on Twitter at JSH Lozano. I have an Instagram at Joshua Lozano 64, I believe, and I rarely use that except just for posting really dumb stuff with my girlfriend. But where I really try to shine is my YouTube account, which is JoshBoy64, all of it lowercase.
Which, dude, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you I'm gonna give you a tip of the hat here, because you did that Marvel video. You did that one scene kind of video, and you chose like my favorite scene out of all the MCU for your video.
The Vision
and that
scene,
blew
right?
up. The Vision scene, the Vision and Ultron. Yeah, that is my favorite scene in all of the MCU, and just because it's the hero and the villain just talking, and I love that. I love those scenes where like there's an underlying tension, but at the same time it's after the big battle, so it's like, it's like Ultron knows he ain't gonna win, and he's just sitting there talking to the one creature or the one character who will understand him the most. And I thought you nailed that video, and I thought it was just a really cool watch, man. And you caught like the zeitgeist that was happening at that time, so you did a really good job, and you deserve all the views that you got for that one. That was amazing. So just giving you some kudos there.
Thank you. I really wish I kept up with the uploads, but that was a really rocky time at that point. But at least I'm getting back into it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? And we might do some YouTube stuff also with Renegade Pop Culture. So, when the time comes, we'll look into that. Did you want to go ahead and just give out any more social media accounts or anything, Josh?
Really, none off the top of my head. That was pretty much it. But I'll go ahead and, if you don't mind, like if you like any of the stuff that I do, go ahead and check out a couple other YouTubers. Just real quick, like Godzilla Mendoza. He just finished doing a 2-part series on comparing the Ninja Turtles from 2003 to 2012. It's a pretty good video series that he's been doing, and it's great because me and my girlfriend are both turtle fans, her more than me. And
who's her favorite turtle?
I believe Raphael.
Interesting. Mine was always Donatello.
Mine was Mikey.
Same.
Isn't that strange? Like, yeah,
everybody's got their own.
Yeah, everybody's got their favorite. You know what though? I never dressed up as Donatello for like Halloween or anything, but I remember as a young kid I dressed up as Leonardo.
He's got the sword.
Yeah, because he's got the swords. That's why. Yeah, but Donatello was always my favorite because he's like, he's like the geeky one, the nerdy guy,
Yeah,
but he's also cool.
he's one
Like,
of
I don't know.
us.
He is. He is.
And like just real quick, and then I'm gonna shut up. Don't worry.
No. Go ahead.
High Top Films. He's very controversial with his Spider-Man videos, but I feel he comes from a right place of critical analysis. Although he can be hyperbolic at times, like he did a video about how Spider-Man Far From Home broke him, and I didn't think it was that bad, but
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
but his general thoughts on some of the stuff in the MCU, and when he does love a superhero property, he's so passionate about it. He did a 3-part series on the Raimi films and
Ooh.
of the Raimi Spider-Man movies, and you could feel the love and effort put into each of the editing decisions that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, just a personal shout out to one of my closest friends on YouTube, Gwendolyn J. She did the same scene I did for the One Marvelous Scene thing, and her videos are great. She did a video on The Happening, and she also did a video about her favorite films of 2019. And she's going to be coming back with a video about why DC is winning at the in film now.
I look forward to seeing that one.
That's an interesting topic, yeah.
Definitely one we need to talk about on a future episode. Like just DC in general.
Well, it's a post-Endgame world. It's DC's enchilada.
It's the Wild West now.
Dude, okay, so speaking of DC, this just brought something into my mind here, which is, what do you guys think of Dan DiDio, like, getting fired at DC Comics?
It's interesting because we don't really know the details beyond the headline.
Yeah. But it definitely points in a very weird direction to me. Like, I don't know where this is going, but it's an interesting story to watch.
Like, I'll admit I haven't read so much of Dan DiDio's stuff. I know he was the creative editor, right?
Yeah, he was the co-publisher.
Yeah.
And he wrote a few books in his tenure there.
And I think I own his like one volume of his Booster Gold series.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked it, but hearing that he got fired, and I'm of two minds. One, that seeing just the overwhelmingly supportive comments from all the comic book artists and writers, unless you're Rob Liefeld, in which case you're
Rob Liefeld. Yes.
But,
yes.
Then hearing some of the stuff about what happened behind the scenes, like that Dan DiDio like basically created a toxic work environment and just a lot of workplace sexual harassment going on under his leadership. And G5, which I don't even know what that is. It's like this, I guess it's a new thing that he was trying to do, where each of the legacy characters would be passed down to a different person.
The Generation 5 or 5G or whatever.
And
5G.
They called it 5G, but now they're changing it to Generation 5 or something because they don't want to be confused with Verizon or T-Mobile doing 5G.
Which I was confused when I heard it, because I thought, wait, is this like
I was like, is
phone
DC
thing?
going into like phone? Like, are they going to be a mobile carrier?
And now they're apparently banking everything on Generation 5, or else they're going to shut down DC Comics.
That last part I don't
know.
I don't really believe.
Yeah.
I hope it's not real, because the thought of DC Comics closing down
well, there's so much, like, there's a lot of conjecture and rumors going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're even saying that they might sell off the publishing arm to Marvel or to Disney, and let Disney take care of the publishing, and then Warner Brothers does all the licensing or something. Which,
that is a recipe for disaster.
that is the. I mean, Disney's just gonna buy out DC then at that point or something. I don't know, but anyway, it's a. I mean, I sort of like, I could see where that could be story fuel to have different legacy characters taking on the mantles. I mean, we've seen that before, but it probably wouldn't last. And I don't. It's such a. It's so strange. Like, are they doing that for new readers? Are they doing that for, like, what are they doing that for?
Who knows, really?
It's so confusing, and I'll admit,
I there's part of me that wants to see it happen just to see what they do, and there's part of me that's just, like, so confused by it and doesn't know what to think. So anyway,
it's just so weird, and I'll admit, I really don't know what's going on. I've gotten most of this from Bleeding Cool, so
yeah,
I don't know if it's completely reputable, but it seems to be the only news publication that I've seen actually talking about it and the implications.
Apparently, they've run with it, and The Beat has run with it a little bit. So it's been, like, you know, there are sources out there, and then with the firing of Didio, it just makes it seem like I just don't know. I mean, are they going to still do it? Are they not going to do it? I mean, Jim Lee apparently is going to be publisher from now on, and he's saying it's just business as usual.
Poor guy.
And he's going to continue it on, but I don't know, man. It's so. It seems really volatile, which is sad for me because I've really liked Rebirth, and I've really liked, like, what they've been doing with their characters, and most of the comics that I buy every week are DC comics for the most part. The only ones that I've been buying from Marvel with any kind of regularity are, like, the X-Men books now under Hickman.
Well,
but
I've heard good things about Chip Zdarsky with Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I have heard good things about that. Well, anyway, okay, so
sorry.
No, we're good. Okay, so that was just a little bit of last minute topic there. All right, guys. So for me, if you are at all interested in following me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is at Keonatang. So that's at KeonaTang, all one word. And that's probably the best way to get in touch with me. All right. And anything else you guys want to say before we go sign off here?
Welcome to the Renegade Pop Culture.
There you go. Welcome, Renegades. All right. And we will talk to you guys again soon. And we will also have intro and outro music, hopefully. So this will be a little less boring. All right. We will talk to you guys later.